Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe in a resourceful feeling of calm and relaxation. And as you exhale, just allow your eyelids to close, feeling more and more relaxed. And with your eyes closed, feel a release of tension, particularly around your forehead and jaw. So as you breathe in, you're breathing in a wonderful feeling of calm and relaxation. And as you exhale, feel that breath by breath, anything that you're holding on to that isn't useful starts to melt away and leave your body in your outward breath. And maybe that's anxiety, or stress, or worry, or tension. Breathing in a calm, relaxing feeling of resourcefulness, and breathing out anything that doesn't serve you right now. I want you to use the power of your imagination to imagine a large sketch pad. And I want you to imagine what it would be like to sketch a forest that leads to a hill. And on top of that hill is a white church. And maybe this is in a different country, under blue skies. And I want you to imagine as you sketch that image, you start off being mindfully aware of the sound, perhaps, of the pencil on the pad. Maybe even the smell of the paper. You could imagine feeling a pencil between your fingers and thumb. But before long, your breathing just gets deeper in and deeper out. You get into that state of flow, state of imagination that can take you on a journey. And I want you to imagine that the pencil is continuing to sketch without your conscious control of that pencil. I want you to imagine sketching the outline of trees in the forest and allow your imagination to imagine what it would be like to step into the forest there in the sketch pad, and imagine being in a forest. Maybe there's the coolness of the shade, maybe the smell of the different trees in the forest. Imagine trekking through a forest, and the forest opens toward the gradient leading up to a hill. Perhaps you can imagine the sensation of the sun on your skin. Maybe a feeling of warmth as you imagine the sun is melting away any worries, tension. And just imagine how you would feel to walk up that hill. I want you to imagine that the hill is challenging but manageable, just as so many other things in your life are. Something difficult doesn't mean it's impossible. And I want you to feel as you climb that hill, you feel resourceful. And I want you to make an evaluation that so many things in your life you have the resources to be able to do and to do well. There are many hills in your life, and you have the ability to climb them all. And as you imagine climbing that hill, I want you to feel a sense of satisfaction. That when you arrive at the top of the hill, your breathing slows down. And I want you to get a sense that you are now surrounded by a beautiful white church. Imagine feeling the sensation, the texture of the brickwork of the church there on your fingers. And maybe you could imagine walking into the church, or maybe finding a place outside. I want you to imagine finding a place where you can feel a special feeling. Perhaps you can call it a divine connection, a spiritual connection, a hybrid of peace, relaxation, deep reflection, but also alignment. That somehow your conscious mind and your unconscious are working hand in hand, yin and yang, perfect harmony, to be able to unlock powerful dormant resources, but also desires. Anything that gives you fulfillment, satisfaction, a creative outlet, is something that is harnessing your deepest values. I want you to get a sense that it feels like for a while your life has been on pause. And I want you to imagine there is a device nearby, perhaps an old cassette player, an old video recorder, and I want you to see that the pause button is visibly pressed down. As you breathe in and breathe out, get a sense that what does it mean for your life to be on pause? What opportunities are you missing out on? I want you to get a sense that instead of your life being on pause, you're just choosing a different song or a different video to play. So, as you press the eject button, see that the pause is automatically unpaused. And I want you to imagine putting something else into that old device that feels that you don't need to pause anything. Press play and feel that your life is moving forwards. As you imagine that comfortable place there inside or nearby that church, on a hilltop overlooking beautiful countryside. I'm going to count down from 5 to 1, and with each descending number you will feel that you're drifting off into a dream-like sleep. 5, just feel that all of the muscles in your face are just releasing any tension, eyelids, forehead, jaw, just release and let go. 4, focusing now on the muscles in your neck and your shoulders, all the way down your arms to your fingertips, just release any tension. Feel a wave of relaxation, taking you deeper and deeper relaxed. The deeper you breathe, the deeper relaxed you become. As 3, you now focus on your breath and all of your internal organs as they also become more and more relaxed, finding a rhythm that matches a frequency of your life moving forwards. 2, 2, just imagine that sensation going into your gut, all the way down into your legs, as your legs, just like your arms, feel limp, loose and heavy. And then 1, just imagine drifting off into a dreamlike sleep. As you start to imagine this church before it was built, strong foundations needed to be laid. And I want you to imagine that your future life is just like this beautiful church. It needs to be constructed. But to construct something magnificent needs strong, deep foundations. So as you breathe in and breathe out, I want you to imagine that your life is not on pause, just temporarily reprioritized. And reprioritized for a reason. You are laying the foundations for your very future. I want you to imagine confidently laying the stones of a path that leads to your ideal future, each step filled with purpose and direction. And maybe you're building a foundation on which something creative can be built. And I want you to imagine feeling a deep sense of satisfaction as you discover that the more creatively you express your emotions and thoughts, the more joy and fulfillment comes into your life. I want you to imagine a future where you're spending more and more time abroad in different countries, different cultures, cities, towns, countryside. Imagine that feeling of being in new places, truly absorbing new cultures and experiences that enrich your soul and broaden your perspectives. And maybe you can imagine sketching, finding inspiration in these new places. As you acknowledge that each day is a valuable part of your journey, nothing is paused now. Just a cause of reflection, refinement, helping you lay the foundations of a magnificent future. This isn't a paused reality. This is a time of planning and preparation, but also giving you time to reconnect with old hobbies, pick up old magazines, to find an outlet for real emotions that could be expressed visually. Imagine waking up each morning with a sense of at least part of your day will be designated for something creative. And perhaps what starts off as a hobby is a stepping stone into a lucrative hobby which becomes maybe a primary source of income. Believe in your ability to make decisions that align perfectly with your long-term goals, feeling assured that each choice is the right one, and congratulate yourself on decisions of your past that have led to benefits in the present. And if that's true, then it also means that decisions you make now could be a gift to your future self. And maybe imagine whether it's long vacations, a second home, or that wanderer within you spending time in new countries, learning from each and every location, feeling that you can utilize these experiences to sculpt your future. What if right now you're exactly where you're meant to be, to figure out what to do differently so that in the future you're also exactly where you're meant to be? You are building a solid foundation for your future, and feel that you can be creative, but also feel that creativity and also being rewarded for your work are not mutually exclusive. I want you to imagine a future where you can be creative, give value to the world, and that people are happy to pay you for your work or impact. And what if this wasn't a time of reluctant planning and preparation, but an exciting phase of building the very foundations for your ideal life? What if right now you're setting the stage for a prosperous and fulfilling future? They say it's good to focus on progress over perfection. So even just sketching the first work that you've done for many weeks or months is a victory. Maybe sharing one post on social media is a win. Celebrate every small success in your creative work, recognizing that they are milestones, stepping stones on the path to this ideal future. When you breathe in, draw in confidence, and exhale doubt, as you become more aligned, more congruent, gravitating and magnetizing towards your future aspirations. What if you were to trust in the natural unfolding of your life's plan? Feeling that some entity or perhaps the universe is guiding you towards your, not possibility, but destiny. Feel grateful for all of the progress already made, but also feel grateful for all of those possibilities that exist in your future. Your future is filled with infinite possibilities, and is the planning, preparation, and decisions you make that enable you to increase the probability of whatever possibility is most desirable for you. I want you to imagine floating up from that church, going forwards 5 or 10 years in the future, and seeing a future version of you, older but healthy, full of vitality, and most of all full of fulfillment. I want you to see a future where you reap the benefits of the planning and preparation and decisions made many years earlier. And if you can envision that future, a desirable future, let me know by nodding your head. And just know that there are infinite futures on your horizon. And what if this period in your life was needed to build the foundations, to give your future self the gift of a more fulfilling life. Feel that you're leaving that church, walking down a hill, but realizing that when you walk down a hill, it's so much easier than walking up it. Feel that effortless motion as you walk towards the forest. And then find a particular tree in a forest, and then imagine that you're now sketching that same tree, feeling the pencil in your fingertips, feeling closer to the present moment and reality. Take a deep breath in through your nose and out through your nose. Wiggle your fingers, wiggle your toes, as very soon I count from 1 to 10 to awaken you. You will awaken feeling this is the ideal time in your life to lay the foundations, to plan, to prepare, to rekindle passions, hobbies, and those things that mean so much. Releasing the judgments of yourself and other people and exploring what truly gives you fulfillment. Counting from 1 to 10 to awaken you. 1, 2, 3, waking up. 4, 5, 6, more alert. 7, 8, open your eyes, open your eyes. 9, 10, wide awake, wide awake, wide awake.